Hey guys, welcome back to Diesel Creek. My name's Matt. You know the drill. I had to buy it. Somebody recently contacted me about an old wheel loader sitting in their barn, and they're gonna be moving out and cleaning out their property, and they said, hey, you come get this thing out of here, $1,500 and it's yours.
I'll make that deal. How about you? You bet you make that deal?
I'd make that deal.
I don't blame you. Damn good deal.
Pretty hard to pass up one like that. So they did send me a couple very crappy pictures of this loader, and all they said was, had it running a few years ago, haven't really used it in a long time, but it's been stored in the barn. So that sounds pretty good to me. It's a lot better than some of the stuff that we're working on. Anyways, I'm wrapping up in the shop for tonight, but we're gonna hit the road in the morning and go snag this thing. Well, behind this door is another purchase that I really hope I don't regret. Oh boy. So what do we have here? Well, from what I know about it, this is a mid-60s Case W8 wheel loader. You can see what's left of the W8 insignia there. Sticker's been peeled off. But she appears to be mostly complete. And as you can see, it's been sitting inside for quite some time. So it's not in terrible condition. As a machine of this age typically would, it does have some leaks. Tires are pretty low. But it does have the diesel engine. These were also available with a gasoline engine. Luckily this one, it's got the diesel. I don't know anything about what engine that is. I assume it's a Case engine. I admittedly don't have any experience with Case engines. But I gave $1,500 for this fine unit. And we got to get it out of here today. We'll have to hit the tires with some air. We're going to have to check some fluids and see if we can't get some juice to this thing, and hopefully it cranks over and fires up. A couple years isn't really too bad. Of course, you guys know if you watch my videos. We've gotten some sleeping giants sitting way longer than that to come back to life without too much trouble. Yeah, I don't know that story about the new batteries a couple years ago is checking out, because they've got October and the 1 checked off on the date code. So to me that's more like 2021. And I know that the style of the stickers on these Napa commercial batteries has changed a bit since then. So yeah, I'm going to put these at least at 2021. They might be 2011 for all I know. Sometimes if you pull them out, there's actually a sticker on the side of them, but I'm not going to go that far right now. It doesn't really matter. I'm sure they're stone dead. I've already took the liberty of coming up here and hitting the button just to check and see if we got anything. Nothing. No signs of life at all. But before we worry about cranking it over, we should probably make sure it's got some oil in it and some antifreeze. There's a dipstick. So it shows oil on the dipstick there, but if you can tell, it's dripping really fast. It's pretty thin, and it smells a bit like fuel. So not the best sign. Could mean that we have fuel getting into our oil somehow. Got a big piston type pump here. German. It says Germany right there, so I'm going to assume it's a Bosch. That looks like a Bosch Governor to me. 6-cylinder variety. That's about all I know about that engine. Come up here and see if we got any antifreeze. Can't see nothing down in there. Still can't see nothing down in there. Sometimes in these scenarios, when you can't see into the radiator like that, as you guys could tell, there's like a bend in the neck there, so you're really not seeing down into the radiator core. You can just grab the bottom pipe here, or even the upper pipe. If you give it a good squish, you can actually hear antifreeze sloshing around somewhere up in the block. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but it's definitely got fluid in it. and I can hear the water sound coming from up higher here, so I feel pretty confident to say that there's at least enough antifreeze in it for us to run it. Okay, over here it says W8 Series B. I was thinking this was a Series A, but apparently this is the second model of the W8. Anyways, let's not dilly-dally today. I'm trying to get out of here in a reasonable time. I guess we're just going to go straight to the jump pack and see if something happens here. Anyways, I don't want to waste too much time here today. No dilly-dallying. I got to get this thing out of here. I'm going to go grab the jump pack, and we're going to see if this thing's going to fire up. Of course, maybe before I get ahead of myself, I should inflate these tires, because I know if I get it to fire up, I'm going to immediately want to try to drive it out of here. And the last thing I need to do is knock a tire off the rim. Well, so far so good. Both the rear tires that were low took air, came up, albeit slow, but they came up. Gonna get the jump pack hooked up here now and do a little smoke test. So this is a 24-volt system. I was happy there was batteries here because I really didn't know whether this would be 12 or 24. Most old machines like this that are diesel are 24 though. Here we go. I don't know whether that's good or bad. I didn't hear any clicking or signs of life, but on old machines like this, there really shouldn't be anything that immediately starts drawing power. You guys stay here and watch that cooling fan, see if it spins. I'm going to go in the cab and try to bump the key. Oh. Yeah. Well, that's disappointing. Still no signs of life. Oh, something's happening. Oh, she's cranking. I like it. I gotta make sure this thing's in neutral. Last thing I want it to do is take off on me. There's a diagram here that explains the shift pattern, but so looks like our left lever here is forward, neutral, and reverse. Our right lever over here is first and second. But then it shows neutral, and it also shows 3 and 4, but that's low and high. I'm guessing this lever down here that's not labeled is the low and high, because these two over here have to be your bucket controls. I've never run one of these old beasts, so we're just figuring it out here as we go. That definitely feels like neutral in both levers, so I think we're safe there. Whatever this one is, it has 3 positions. We'll keep it in the middle one too, so everything should be in neutral there. Well, I'm trying to figure out where our fuel shutoff is here. There should either be a linkage or a wire going into this injection pump somewhere to cut the fuel off. I don't see anything. The only thing I did see is there's a little spring hanging down here. It's not connected to anything. I don't know what it does or doesn't do anymore. But I want to be able to make sure I can shut this thing down should it try to take off on me or, start blowing oil everywhere. I got to be able to shut it off. And you can't rely on whatever's going on in the cab at this day and age, because the link between A and B could be long gone. I think I figured it out. This is your throttle linkage that runs the governor. But if you lift it all the way up, like if you lift the foot pedal, it sounds like it's making a click in there to shut the pump off. That's the way the Caterpillars work. And I don't see any other signs of anything in the cab that would shut it off. There's definitely no wires going into this for an electronic shut off. So yeah, that's the only thing I see. So that has to be it, I hope. All right, well, with all that being said and figured, I guess it's time to try to hit the key and see if this thing's gonna fire up. What do you guys think? Lock in your bets now. $1,500 loader. Can it really be that easy? We just connect batteries and hit the key? It could, but it's not my track record. Well, I can't find any reason not to. Can I get out of contact? No way! We got lucky. Really, really lucky. That thing's just purring like a kitten. I checked our oil pressure gauge before I exited the cab. We look like we have good oil pressure. I don't see any oil being dumped on the ground, so that's a good sign. No way. It never works out this easily. Ha! It sounds pretty good. That muffler's nice, it's quiet. I'm impressed. I'm calling that a W. All right, well, let's try to get this thing out of here, huh? Kind of a pain to get in and out of this thing, I'll say that for it. Throttle definitely needs a return spring. Let's see, can we make the bucket go up and down here? Which one is it? Oh, there we go, it's that one. Oh yeah! We're loadering now. There goes a furry friend. I knew this thing had mice in it. Seems like we're definitely low on hydraulic oil. I didn't bring any like an idiot. It's like it's my first rodeo every time I do this. Yeah, we got enough to steer, it seems like. That's good. I didn't mention it before, but this is a rigid frame loader, so it doesn't articulate like Fat Alice. So let's see, I'm gonna guess this is high and low, and I'm gonna guess forward would be low. And I'm gonna put it in first. Put our gear selector in first, and hopefully this is forward. Torque converter pressure's not coming up, so that doesn't inspire confidence. Yeah. Wonder what the deal with that is. Wonder if we're out of transmission fluid. Well, it took a little while looking around to find it, but I found the dipstick for the transmission. It's here on the front of the machine, up by the loader frame. And she is bone dry, at least on the dipstick. I can see a little bit of fluid down in there. Yeah, you guys can see it there. It's real foamy, not much left in there at all. Looks like ATF. I don't have any of that with me. So I guess I'm gonna run back to the shop, grab a bucket, and hopefully that solves our problems here. Well, ended up having to make a napper run for some ATF. But hopefully this is gonna get us running and driving. Would be nice if I had a funnel. Thanks to a misspent youth watching MacGyver reruns, I got one. Funnel. Well, I put in about 2 gallons and we're just barely onto the dipstick, so it was pretty low. We'll put in a little bit more. I don't want to waste the whole pail on it, even though that might be how much it takes to get it up to full. It'll run with less than that. hard to justify dumping $80 worth of fluid into a machine that you really don't know for sure is going to be worth the $80 invested. But so far, I think we're on to a good start. We also don't know if it's this empty, it probably leaks it pretty good. So there's that chance that after I start it up now, it just blows this ATF all over the ground, which I'm hoping is not the case. But anyway, we got enough in it now to try it. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, it's gonna move now. Corn packed. Just as I had feared, we seem to be leaking it at an alarming rate. That's not good. Well, it moves. And it appears I spoke too soon about the possibility of having this fluid all over the ground again. Not long after we started actually moving a little bit, I heard and then the ominous sound of fluid dripping on the ground. Well, the good news is it starts and runs really well, and it will move if you have transmission fluid in it. But much like I feared, it's out again. So let me grab a socket set. We'll see if we can find the culprit under the hood there, and probably have to make a run back to Napa. It would surprise none of you with any experience in these matters that there's not just one leak. It's lots of little leaks, and one pretty good one that's stopping us dead right now. Oh yeah. Well, at least we got pretty good access now. Well, good news, bad news. I found the blown line here. So that's the good news. More good news is it's not even a line that we need. It actually goes up to what used to be a hydraulic pressure gauge here, but we don't need that thing. So I can just cap it off here. The unfortunate part is I don't have my caps with me. They somehow wandered out of the truck, and I believe they're at the shop. So we're going to see what we can't make happen with those MacGyver skills I was mentioning earlier. It's not far to the shop, but it's just far enough to be inconvenient. I must have 10 miles of thread here. Well, I almost couldn't believe it, but I was able to scrounge up the proper pipe plug floating around in my toolbox. So, big score of the day. At least I think it's the right one. Let's go ahead and try to thread her in there. Cross your fingers. Tell you what, trying to work on this machine is not fun. There is no good place to put your body while you're trying to wriggle your arms down inside of this operator's area. And it doesn't help that somebody mangled the step on it over the years. Yeah, buddy, it's threading. Oh, we got so lucky. See, being a hoarder, it can pay off occasionally. Oh. All right. Let's fire this thing up, see if it's going to leak. Contact. Oh, it's looking good to me. I can definitely still hear fluid dripping from somewhere, though. So maybe that wasn't our only leak. I don't see anything else leaking horribly, so we're going to go ahead and dump the rest of the hydraulic oil that we have in the tank, or ATF. But I've realized since I started working on this thing that this machine uses ATF throughout the entire system, so it services not only the transmission, but all the hydraulic cylinders and everything are also pumped full of that ATF. So I think I have a gallon or two left in that bucket. We'll go ahead and dump it in here, see what happens. Well, that's all the ATF I have, so I'm really hoping we can get this thing loaded. We're actually over full on the dipstick now, but I bet you once we put the transmission in gear, it pulls a lot of that fluid back into circulation. To see if the four-wheel drive works. Oh, and it does. I think that's pretty good. It always gets some looks when I pull a machine like this. It's just physically large on a trailer behind the 450, but we're actually well within our weight specs. This machine weighs somewhere around 16,000 pounds, and I'm actually legal for 19 on the trailer or close to it. So we're just fine. Our weight distribution looks pretty good, so I'm gonna go ahead and shut her down and chain it down. Well, eastbound and down, let's go. Well, on an extremely rare circle of life event here, I called a buddy on the way home with this thing. Decided I was driving past his house anyways. Said, go ahead and bring it down here, I'll unload this thing, and he's the proud new owner. So let's get her unloaded. Yeah, I figured that. Didn't die. What a unit. Well, all's well that ends well. Got it safely unloaded. Didn't even die. And yeah, buddy loves it. So it's gonna live out its days here in literal greener pastures. I'm almost a little upset I didn't get to try and play with it and dig a little bit, but this guy's close, so maybe I can swing by after he does a little bit of TLC on it and I can give her the beans. Well guys, that's a full circle for me. We made it from buying to fixing to loading and ended up delivering that beautiful case loader all in the span of one day. Actually, I think it was about 10 hours from start to finish, and that's a first for me. Like I said, the cycle of scrap all contained here in one video. So I know a lot of you guys say, well, we never get to see what happens in the end. You don't finish restoring stuff, or we don't get to see you sell the stuff, or you know, whatever. So some of you guys ought to be very thrilled with this outcome. I am too, because I was able to make a couple bucks, and I didn't even have to bring it back here and clog up my yard with that thing. So found it a home, kept it out of the scrap yard. I think we did a good deed for the day. So as I said in the beginning of the video, I paid $1,500 for that loader, and I turned around and I sold it to Buddy there for $2,500. Now, I probably could have listed it online and got $4 or $5 grand out of it if I really tried, cleaned it up a little bit more, you know. But fact is, I've got 1,000 projects around here, and just getting that thing off my plate and making a couple bucks in the process made me happy, and I found it a home so it didn't wind up in a junkyard. And that's what my main goal is. As some of you guys know, I kind of fancy myself as a bit of an intermediate home for wayward scrap. And no, machines like this I don't really refer to as scrap, but a lot of that older stuff that is kind of a niche market at this point, you know, it's a little harder to find a home for some of that stuff. So if I can keep it out of the scrapyard, find it a home, and make a couple bucks in the process, I am more than happy to do that. $1,000 covers more than my time and money invested in it. That all just goes back into the pot for the next go round. While we're on that subject though, it has occurred to me that I probably have a few more projects around here that I'm ever gonna actually get to. So in the coming months here, I'm gonna be trying to liquidate. I've already been moving some stuff that I really don't have any intention of working on, fixing, saving, whatever. Slowly but steadily getting rid of some stuff here, and I think I'm gonna come up and do like a year-end purge here. Every year around Christmas time, I end up making a video going through the yard and, you know, just briefly talking about every single piece that I have here in the yard. But I think this year we're going to do a little twist on that, and we might be listing some of that stuff at the same time. So, you know, the possibilities for a last-minute Christmas gift, they could be stupendous. Oh, speaking of presents, be sure you tell Santa Claus what you're looking for this year under the tree is some Diesel Creek swag. So head on over to the store. That's dieselcreek.com. We've got hats, hoodies, t-shirts, ball caps, sticker packs, beer koozies, all that and more over at the store. We've got some new t-shirt designs already out and more on the way. We've got our awesome heavyweight Diesel Creek hoodies available also over there at the store. It's getting cold, hence the layerage that you see going on here. So you'll be nice and warm, and you'll be looking good at the same time. So you can head on over to dieselcreek.com, pick yourself up one today. Scratch that one off your to-do list. Get your Christmas shopping done. That's dieselcreek.com. Link, as always, down in the description there. But until the next time, guys, I want to thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll catch you on the next one. Later.